The man behind the cowboy hat is a person who has pioneered the foundational strategy of poker we all know today. Doyle's entry into poker was one of happenstance, as he had athletic talents landing him a scholarship into Hardin-Simmons University in track and field, where he would later be swayed into basketball, gaining interest from the Minneapolis Lakers. All of these athletic dreams would come to a swift end after a knee injury, putting him out for a season, and leading Doyle to discover less physically active hobbies. Doyle eventually hopped into poker, experimenting with different types of games, but didn't fully commit to the lifestyle until winning a 7-card stud tournament, lending him enough money to get him hooked. Doyle would spend the next few years hopping around the US, mainly centered in the Midwest, playing in many underground illegal games, slowly moving up in stakes. Poker at this time is sort of like the movies in the 2000s, with hidden backroom games playing loose and with an ever-present threat of violence. Doyle often recited his most dangerous experience where a competitor to the game he was playing in broke in and held them all hostage until executing his game runner in front of the other players. Poker has since evolved into a more formal business with rules, regulations, and security as a result of business ventures like the WSOP. Doyle was one of the staple names of the WSOP, winning the main event in 1976 and 1977 for a respective prize in the mid-six figures. Doyle's success in the WSOP catapulted its notoriety and prestige for poker players globally. In this time period, the concept of GTO, or the use of computer algorithms, was still not yet developed, and poker strategy was a widely debated topic. Doyle took many of what he considered to be foundational strategy in poker and wrote it all down in his own book called Super System. The contents of his book would be reanalyzed later by computer algorithms to prove Doyle had discovered many of the optimal strategies used today, alongside some arguments he posited that were not. The life and legacy of Doyle Brunson in poker is a journey of exploration and brilliance. Before the age of computer, Doyle figured out and became one of the most successful players in an age where debts were often unpaid or risked violence. Despite tragedy in his youth, he pivoted to poker and fully realized the poker dream current players all seek. I come from the newest generation of players who barely knew of Doyle and the other forefathers of the industry, outside of the occasional 10-deuce highlight video. The meaning and essence of Doyle's life is hard to distill into a short message, and for that reason, I think it is better to let the remnants of him speak for itself. May you rest in peace, Doyle.
Over these 51 years of your poker experiences, how would you say the poker world has changed and developed and evolved?
Oh my God. It's it's exceeded anybody's expectations, and it's just getting bigger and bigger, and I think it's probably going to keep getting bigger.
We were actually looked upon as second-class citizens back in the 50s and 60s. And, you had a lot of hard feelings over it. People that you thought were your friends, turned out that they actually looked down on you because they thought you were some kind of a gangster or something because you were a poker player. And then when Benny Binion started the World Series of Poker and it started getting televised, well, then it started getting, more accepted and everything.
Was it dangerous?
Yeah, it's very dangerous. We got robbed, I think, 5 times. We got arrested numerous times. And you got cheated a lot. You had to watch out for all that stuff. And that was part of the glamour, as you might call it. It was dangerous, but we had a good time.
Well, I think the best thing that you can do in a home game is not to bluff. In a private game where the people are there looking for the excitement, they're not there for the money usually. They're there just to have a good time, and they're looking for an excuse to get in the pot. They're looking for an excuse to call you. And it was my experience that when I played in games like that, you get called 95% of the time. You can hardly ever bluff.
That's going for him above and beyond is twofold, really. Longevity. I mean, he's in his late 80s. And last time I played with him, I'm like, how is he getting better? Like, I really felt like he was playing better than he had, in the previous years.